All right. Good afternoon, traders. I am live flying solo at Black Cat Comics. Greg bailed on me, so I'm all on my own for today's show. Apparently, but hopefully we'll find some. Oh, hey,
loser!
what's
Lucky
up? 48. Episode
Yeah.
48.
Hi.
Oh, that was.
I had to say my order.
That was a producer adjusting the camera there. That worked out.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that
Oh,
worked
good.
out
I
pretty
thought,
well.
I thought my eyes were like, again. This is one of those weird things going on.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, episode 48.
Lucky 48.
They're all pretty lucky.
Lucky.
One way or another.
Lower 48. That's what they call it. That's what they call us, man.
That was my nickname in high school.
Really?
So, yeah.
There's a Clerk's joke in there somewhere.
I'm sure there probably is.
In a row?
Big fan. Yeah, in a row. That was my wife's nickname in high school. So how's your week been?
Just wanted to make sure nothing was flying past to hate you. How's my week been?
Yeah, how's it been going?
I went to a really fun concert on Tuesday.
Nice.
I had a really good time.
Right on.
I was very happy. And I came into work yesterday and heard that Image Comics is going to Lunar, and now I'm pissed.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they announced that yesterday after they consulted with and asked all the retailers and everybody like that, and wanted to make I'm just kidding. They didn't tell us anything.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just getting all sorts of mixed information. Like, I got an email from Diamond yesterday.
Okay.
And it's Steve Jeppy going, we've had a very fruitful and wonderful experience carrying Image Comics. Sure, it's going to be a shame when something happens to the warehouse. That's my Jeppy impression. Also, how old are you? 23. Too old. Sorry. No, I'm sorry. No. He has been pictured with a lot of very young ladies at the baseball field and everything. It's a little creepy, I think. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So now, I think that I don't know, man. I got another email from Diamond today, and they're like, oh yeah, let me reiterate, you can still get Image Comics from Diamond. And then I get an email
available from both.
I don't know, because then I get an email from Image saying that their stock at Diamond should be depleted within the next 2 months, and you can start ordering from Lunar in June. And I'm like, well, so I responded to the email from Image, hasn't heard anything. I'm like, this is a terrible idea. Why are you fracturing this even more? And I'm getting conflicting information. Diamond saying I can get stuff through them. You're saying I cannot. So what's the deal, man?
That is a little off.
And the bigger Lunar gets and the more publishers that they get under their umbrella, the worse they're being. I'm getting more damages. I'm getting more shortages. They're just turning into Diamond now.
So is it a case of the infrastructure isn't there to handle the volume?
I don't think it is. I think they're too. I think they're too big. I think that they're just like, oh man, we can handle all this. Let's get all these other little publishers in. Let's get Scout and Vault in there. Let's get Oni to come over, man. We can do this. Let's get Black Mask over there, which is really not a problem because none of their stuff ever comes out anyway. But,
right.
I mean, man, and it's like the more. I guess the more publishers they get over there, the more damages I'm seeing, the more shortages I'm seeing, the more mistakes I'm seeing. And I had three. I think there were like 4 damages that I wanted replaced, and then like 3 or 4 that I wanted credit for, and they are making me send them a picture for 3 comic books, which is going to cost them about $4. They're making me send them a picture of the stripped covers because they don't trust that they had made a mistake and I'm not going to sell them.
Right.
I'm like, but what's the point?
Yeah, that's a a little much. I mean, I'm not really opposed to alternative like competition in the distribution area.
Neither am I.
Because Diamond had it for so long and did such a poor job
right
with it. A competitor would only improve that, you would think.
Yeah.
The
But
problem,
it's like I've always said, you can't get rid of a monopoly by making another monopoly.
Right, exactly.
You can't do it.
So if Lunar becomes Diamond 2.0,
yeah,
there's nothing there that I mean, nothing's changed.
I mean, they already have a monopoly on DC.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, I think the best way to do this is, you know, like Scout and Vault and Oni and Black Mask and everybody else but DC, even Marvel, whom I'm just shaking my head at right now with a lot of things, you know, but man, even Marvel, you know, is smart enough to say, okay, we can still get them through Diamond,
right.
You know, because there's a nice backup. The day after Free Comic Day was DC's FOC 2 weeks ago. They wouldn't push it back. They have a different FOC date than Diamond or Random House or anybody else. Their FOC cutoffs on Sunday.
I haven't done the FOC thing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So is it just DC that FOC is Sunday?
Yeah.
Or Scout? Yep. Is it everything at Lunar?
Well, no, it's everything at Lunar.
Okay.
But, you know, this is what I'm saying. This is why I like him to be in two places. The day after Free Comic Day, I don't know if DC is familiar with what Free Comic Day is, but we all work very hard. Right. And it's very busy and we're really tired and we don't want to work the next day.
Right.
So I totally spaced it. You know, thankfully there was one DC book on there and a couple of trades, you know. But the nice thing about that is I was able to go to Diamond the next day and put all those orders in at Diamond. So Lunar just lost the business on those books because they refused to extend that FOC cutoff for one day, one time. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't like it.
All right. Marvin Wynn. Hello, Marvin.
Hey, Marvin.
Saying Universal is opening up a warehouse in the States. Not sure how that's going to work out. That's interesting.
What's Universal?
Distribution. Universal Distributors. And
I'm not familiar
Marvin,
with them.
I'm not real familiar. They're either European or Canadian. Could be both.
If they're Canadian, they'd be both.
And of course, this just in breaking news from our man on the street, Bueller, reporting Howard Chaykin is a home wrecker. So
I really thought, I'm glad that's how that went. I didn't think that last word was going to be okay.
Not sure if that's appropriate.
Is a hoe? A hoe?
A hoe.
The hoe?
No, that's pretty interesting, though. I mean, if they make image available from both, that's what I want to see.
That's what I want, man. I want every single one to be available. You know, and I know that they're all just going back and they're like, oh, Diamond did an exclusive with Marvel, so we're not going to we'll show them, you know. And it's like, all right, fine. Yeah, I get that. You know, that, yeah, you're still mad. You're still pissed off.
I mean, I would be like, if they had 5 or 6 distributors.
Oh, my God, that'd be great.
It would be amazing.
I would love it.
I mean,
there would
be some competition for pricing. There would be competition for level of service and damage returns, and like there's a whole slew of things that would clear up overnight.
And you know what else? There needs to be an industry standard for these things, for final order cutoff, for damage returns, I mean, for all this stuff, man. You know, and Lunar's a mess right now, and I got. You know, I had 2 boxes from Lunar this week. They were both scheduled to be delivered on Wednesday. I got one Tuesday and I got one 2 hours ago. And that's not a UPS or a FedEx problem. That's the fact that they shipped it at a different time.
Yeah.
You know, so I get shipments every day.
Well, and we've talked about it before, and I think there's a level of complacency on on the part of both Lunar and Diamond
Mhm.
at this point, that and whoever it is distributing Marvel, but they got so used to being able to blame it on
Yeah.
or supply chain,
Right.
supply
Yeah.
chain, supply chain, supply chain, and
Yep.
COVID, that like they just kind of think they're entitled to
Do whatever they want now.
yeah,
And they don't have to explain anything now.
yeah. That's the new normal, and unfortunately, I think that's extremely detrimental to the hobby. I think that plays a large part in people's frustration with new books right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Saga thing is a perfect example.
Mhm.
Like you're dumping Saga. You
I'm
fired.
done.
Yeah, you
I'm over
fired
it.
Saga because it's going to take another 10 years for them to get that entire series wrapped up.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? And there's, I mean, the art is beautiful.
Right.
Okay. And, you know, but I mean, if you are, I mean, Fiona Staples is only doing that, right? That's all she's doing. She's not even doing covers for anything anymore. Like that's all she's doing.
Something else.
I think that's all she's doing. Wow. I haven't seen anything come out from her besides Saga occasionally. You know, Brian K. Vaughan, he's not doing any other books. He says that Saga's all written. No way it is. No way. Right. It's not written. So, you know, and I know that there are all these situations, you know, and where it's like, yes, the creative process is very difficult. I understand that. I get that. You know, I mean, you know, Marvin, it's tough to make a comic, and I understand that. I get that. You know, but if you're at such a high profile book as Saga,
right?
You know, my feeling is you better be working on that every day, and you get that book out every single month. Because I have dropped my orders by about 20 copies a month now. Because I'm sitting on them now. People are all excited for it to come back, and they can't even do it monthly. They can't even do that 6 months on anymore.
Well, and
people were dropping it. They were over it.
I've never read Saga. I've collected the first 20 issues or whatever, and I haven't gone any further because it is inconsistent. I don't have time to invest into something that's not going to be consistent,
right?
No matter how good it is.
I mean, it's good, but it's not going to split. It's not going to split the earth,
right?
You know, it's not reinventing the wheel. It may be furthering the wheel a little bit, you know, but it's not. I mean, it's truly not the greatest comic book ever written. It's just not. It's really good. And could I write it better? Hell no. Could I draw it any better? No. You've seen my art. You know, no, man. But they don't deserve to get that time off like that. That's 3.5 years between a story arc, man.
Well, especially when we got people like Marvin that can put out a book when he says it's going to be out.
Yeah, right. Man. You know, we got people like Marvin that are doing that. We got people like Doug. Plush. They did not advertise Plush until every single issue was done.
Yeah.
Well,
and in all fairness, they're trying to do on Saga 102, 120, 100, whatever, like over 100 books, whereas Plush is 6.
Yeah, right.
But then, you know, Doug, not biting off more than he can chew.
Exactly. If you can't do it, don't do it.
Knows what he can deliver, and he delivers.
Yeah.
Like it's good stuff.
Right.
So and there's a lot to be said for those small 6-issue run indies. I mean, you know, I love them. I Doug stuff. I love that. Like all this indie stuff that it does 6 runs. I Hate Fairyland. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get there now. You know, and I'm to the point now where it's like, you know, when, not if, when the X-Men relaunch again with X-Men and Uncanny X-Men,
right.
And then Super X-Men, and then Green X-Men and Blue X-Men, and then X-Men Black, and then X-Men Purple, and then Blue and Gold X-Men, and everything else they're going to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take the Batman route with him, and I'm just gonna do X-Men and Uncanny. I just can't do all that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Batman Detective relaunch. I'm done. I'll just read the stuff I got, man. And you know how much I love Batman.
Yeah.
And then putting it right in the middle of a conversation, saying, "Thanks, Armando. Have a good day." Like it was not even any big deal. That's it. That's all. But I'm just, I'm really tired of it. Yeah, and Bueller, by the way, I don't know if he's a home wrecker. He seems to be trying to build an extra home or two. Anyway, sorry.
Bringing people together. That's Howard.
Bringing certain people closer to him. Yes. No, so anyway, I just think it's a big problem here, and it's like, trim it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just come on, man. It seems like every single publisher right now, and I know that's not true, but it seems like it. When we're talking about Marvel, DC, Boom, Image, Dark Horse to a point now, and every single one of those it's like the people that run these publishers wake up in the morning and they're like, what's best for me? When they should be asking what's best for the readers, what's best for the comic shops, what's best for the industry. Because once you realize what's best for those last three, then that is the best for you.
Right.
If you're making comics.
So is there like a national independent comic shop organization of some kind that can speak for the collective?
And not really.
It kind of seems like that would probably.
There isn't really. Neil Adams told me that we should do that, and he was once again a bit ahead of his time with that.
Yeah.
Should have done it a long time ago. But the thing is, though, is they won't listen to us. I'm just like, oh God, sorry, I'm just not used to seeing a full head of hair. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Not on this.
Oh my God, anyway. Not on this side of the table. It's like, Marvel has got their, Marvel has their retailer Facebook page, and the only thing they do is have David Gabriel say, "Hey, we got these covers." Pretty good. And you see stuff on there all the time, and they're like, "Hey, we didn't see a price on this issue," or when you advertise this issue, you said it was $4.99, and in previews it says it's $5.99, but in and he's just like, "Oh, that should be corrected soon."
It's pretty funny,
actually. And that's all he does, and it's just say, "Oh, that'll be corrected soon." If anybody wants to do a variant with us, contact me. I sent a message on there. I'm like, "Hey, man, it's what are you doing? You quit restarting things. You're losing customers,
right?"
I said, instead of a jumping on place, it's becoming a jumping off place for people.
Okay, perfect.
Because they're like, "Oh, I've completed the collection. I'm done. I'm good."
Yeah.
And it's quit doing that. Quit doing so many variants, and if you insist on doing so many variants, please put the character that's in the book on the front of it, and put the title and the issue number on it so people know what they're picking up.
Right.
Man, I got a Moon Knight issue over there. The only issue, or the only cover of the new Moon Knight that I have, doesn't say Moon Knight, doesn't say the issue. It has Star-Lord on it. It says Guardians of the Galaxy on it, and that's why nobody's buying it. Because it doesn't say the book.
Right.
They wouldn't even let me post that. They wouldn't approve the post.
Well, that's not surprising. And honestly, I don't
why
see.
Have it?
If there was some kind of collective with the comic retailers that could speak as a whole, I don't see a Marvel really paying a lot of attention.
They don't care.
DC
definitely will not pay attention.
Well, I think they would. if it's positive. If it's something positive.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, if it's positive, they'll answer.
If it's a pat on the back, I mean, Marvel just won't pay attention at all.
No, if you put a pat on the back on the Marvel Facebook page, they're like, "Oh, thank you." They'll post it because that makes them look good.
Only thing,
right?
And that's why they would do it publicly for something like that.
Yeah. No.
But I would think that Image, Boom, not IDW, unfortunately, Dark Horse, some of these other
IDW now stands for I'm in deep water.
Some of these kind of mid-level companies, I would hope.
I don't know. Boom won't. There's no outreach from Boom anymore.
Wow,
nothing.
And they used to be so good at it.
They used to be great. There's zero outreach from Boom. An Image. Nothing anymore from Image.
So one thing that I'm hearing, one company that I'm hearing that takes a lot of feedback and runs with it and like really appreciates the comic retailers, that part of the business is Dynamite. I hear that they're really good with shops and
they actually are. Dynamite's good
and stuff. So
and Dynamite's good. Xenoscope's really good.
Yeah,
I just talked to them an hour ago.
I love Xenoscope.
Jason's called and he's like, "Hey, I know what your order's going to be. I just haven't talked to you in a bit. Want to make sure everything's good. How's the shop doing? That's it. Mad Cave and AWA have both been reaching out lately.
I just haven't seen anything. Mad Cave puts out some really great books. I haven't really seen anything from AWA lately that's kind of piqued interest.
Yeah. They're going to do another. They're going to do like another Straczynski book and stuff like that. They've kind of got Straczynski and Peter Milligan and those guys kind of.
I mean, AWA has certainly in the past like delivered enough that they've got some credit built up with me for sure.
Yeah.
They've got some great books come out. And Black Mask. I feel the same way about Black Mask.
We'll skip it.
I know. I think they've done some great things. I don't want to say
anything. No, they've done some good books, but again, and if you can't get them in, it doesn't matter how good they are.
Yeah, very true.
I mean, let's talk. Let's talk about. No, let's not. Actually,
so one thing that has come up in the past week that I thought was kind of interesting is people are talking about how we check prices on books, and we come from two completely different mindsets on this. You're a straight Overstreet book, guidebook, and I kind of look at the fluctuating market. And one thing that I've seen, and Bueller's done it in the past, where he's compared eBay prices and fair market value to Overstreet values. And in the long run, when you do that, there's really no difference in value.
Yeah, it ends up the same.
I think that's really interesting. Marvin's okay. So Universal's out of Canada.
Oh, jeez. I need to get new glasses and start actually wearing the ones I have. I thought Marvin just posted cannibalism.
Cannibal.
It says Canadian. Oh, Universal's cannibals? I thought he was commenting on what the publishers are doing in the industry. Actually, I was like, yeah, okay, cool, man.
So
yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think they eventually pretty much do end up in the same place. It's just market value varies too much day to day. But we are completely different entities,
right?
And we, for the most part, sales wise, we have some overlap, but for the most part, we deal with different people in different situations. And most of the people I sell to, I look at and say hello. Most of the people you sell to, I would imagine, send. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a different situation. And I've always felt that if somebody's going to walk into a store, they should get that industry standard price. And if they don't have a store around them, they're probably going to have to pay a little bit more. And because you're going to have to go online, you're going to have to pay shipping, you're going to have to be more of that market value.
Well, and mine isn't really. It isn't so much selling books, because once I sell off the inventory that I have,
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with the secondary market. I'm going to work on. I'm going to make my living on pressing and cleaning, because it's hard for me to sell books.
Yeah,
it's emotionally wrecking for me to sell books.
well,
So
and you get stressed out, man, because
I do.
when I sell it to somebody, they're coming in, they're like, oh, it's a book, okay, and then they buy it. You've got people. If you ship to people, you've got 40 different people that grade 40 different ways.
Oh yeah.
And then they're going to get that, and they're going to be like, staple's not straight, I want a refund. Or I would put this in a fine plus instead of a very fine. Can you give me some money back? Or, you know what I mean? And all that. And that, it stresses me out to sell on eBay.
Yeah.
Or to sell anywhere online. It totally stresses me out because I try to get good pictures. I try to do everything I can to make sure that they're getting what I am listing. And some people, like, everybody will put up on eBay near mint. I put up near mint minus or near mint / near mint minus, because you're not. I'm sorry, man. If you're unpacking a book from a box from Diamond, you're not unpacking a near mint book.
You shouldn't be. Certainly shouldn't.
Yeah, you're not, and you're not unpacking a near mint book. And I've had people like, well, how come it's near mint minus? I'm like, because that's what they all are. Unless you press it and slab it, basically everything's a near mint minus. That's why that's the highest grade in Overstreet. That's it. Like, and I sat back, and they're like, well, but so and so has one that's near mint that's the same price. I'm like, okay, we'll buy it from them. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know you. I don't. Yeah, whatever. I don't care.
But yeah, I thought we'd take a look at it. And so what I've done is I've got somewhere over here my cover price pulled up, and we're looking at Amazing Spider-Man 300. I'm gonna pull that up real quick.
Amazing Spider-Man. Is that with an A?
It's with a W.
Whoa, amazing. Let's see.
Amazing.
All right.
So I think this is a good book. It's certainly.
It's not the good book.
It depends. I know a few people that might disagree. Okay, so we look at this on cover price, and it's showing me raw. Average raw is $414. Near mint is $671 raw. So what does Overstreet tell us?
7,000. No.
Nice.
9.2 is $850.
Wow. So a huge discrepancy, and that's a reflection in the fact that over the last 60 days, the market itself is it completely bottomed out. It really did.
Yeah.
And then it's starting to bounce back up.
Right.
So the curious thing to me is I'm over here. The curious thing to me with that is there are some books that I was looking at as I go through things to list them for sale, and this book came up, which was at one point a $600 book, fair market value.
That's very unfair.
I mean, I would have to agree.
Market value.
Like, that's insane. So, and it's still listing at a $300 fair market value.
What?
Outlaw number 1 in 25.
The cover A is $10.
That's not cover A. It's one.
I know, but the cover A is $10.
This is a 1
That's
in 50.
1 in 50.
Yeah.
Then I don't think it should be any more than $30.
I would agree with that.
Why is that a $300 book? I don't think a
1 in 50 should ever be more than about $25 to $30.
Yeah, why is that? Why?
I'm not really sure. This is one that we have a hard time just kind of nailing down.
It leads into Champions #1. So technically, so does Amazing Spider-Man #4. I mean, everything leads into something. Who cares?
Right.
I don't. That doesn't make any sense.
So first appearance of Cradle.
Oh, well, of course.
Whatever Cradle is.
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting. And I've asked in a bunch of different groups and tried to get some idea of why this book is worth so much. But you're looking at the average raw grade price over the last however long.
What?
$300 fair market value. And you look at the sales data for the book.
That just doesn't make sense.
The last one sold raw was $175 sold just not even a month ago on the 7th. Sold for $175.
See, I couldn't do that. I could not sell that to somebody for $300. I would feel terrible about that.
Yeah, it's insane how.
Man. Okay, how about your Batman #6? What does that look like on there? On collector value market take party or whatever it is. Oh, sorry, hold music. We're looking up books, looking them fast.
And I think this is a very important book.
I don't. What does it say though?
It's the Court of Owls.
So,
like that's an important key moment in.
It was just a couple years ago.
And that, I mean, it's first full appearance as opposed to cameos. Like that's ridiculous to me.
What?
Raw fair market value is $99.
Book value is $10.
Really?
I think $10 is too high.
Wow.
I think the New 52. I think Batman #1 should be $20. Let's go 2 through 10 should be $5 each, and everything after that should be covered.
Wow. I think that's fair. I think
but here's
the
reason. And it was printed like crazy. It was reprinted like crazy.
Right.
The trades are reprinted like crazy. It's a continuity that doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't even exist anymore.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
And it's a failed line of relaunch books that DC did. There is zero reason that should be $100. Right. Zero reason. Right. I trip over these things when I'm going through boxes.
And the thing that
kills me, there's so many of them,
is I don't even understand why the New 52 stuff is. I mean, it was good writing. It was okay.
It's all right.
I haven't, oddly enough, I've read the action stuff. I haven't read, and the JLA stuff. I haven't read the Batman stuff. So I know nothing about the Court of Owls.
Yeah, I did not like the action comics.
I think, I thought it was all right. I think they did all right with that. But this is based solely on the speculation that the Court of Owls are going to be appearing in Batman movies.
Right. Who has confirmed that?
I don't know if it's ever been actually confirmed or if it's even a live project at this point.
Exactly. So people are paying $100 for a $10 book, and then that announcement never gets made. And then the people that are buying this for $100 are like, well, this hobby's stupid. Why did I pay 10 times more than a book is worth? I'm not going to do this anymore. And then what happens? Shops close, publishers close, and all we do is digital and movies.
Yeah.
That's, in my opinion, that's where market value is going to put us.
And then you have Hollywood determining the direction of our characters.
Right. Yeah, which is also a huge mistake.
And it's kind of a shotgun approach, at least back in the 80s, 70s, when a lot of this stuff, they just threw everything in a comic book. And so for every Infinity Stone, Infinity Gauntlet Saga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, there's an Executioner song. So,
Yep.
I mean, there's some crap out there
Yeah.
from the same era that your Precious Infinity Saga came
Oh,
from.
yeah. Yeah.
That wouldn't cut the mustard.
Right. Yeah.
And if we let them just continue, because now they streamline that into one channel with the movies or the TV shows or whatever it is, we're at the point where that's the road of progress that we're going on without any inside influence.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know. I just, I feel again. I just got to go back to this $100 book, which is not a $100 book. It is, and I get if you're using that and somebody's like, oh, I'm going to bump it up over Overstreet. I'm going to sell it for $20. I wouldn't do that. But if a shop did that, I'd be like, well, okay, whatever, I guess. But $100 is nuts. And if they want to justify a $20 price tag by $100 market value, that's fine. But what happens when, tomorrow, when DC says, okay, the new Batman movie is going to be based on Batman Year 2 that McFarlane did and Mike Barr. Then tomorrow you're going to look at this book and it's going to be $5 market value.
Right. And I'm seeing a lot of that right now. I just went through all of my Thors, the Donny Cates run.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect example of that.
Yep.
Because there's books, number 1, number 5, all of those early appearances of I can't remember
what might be Null, what
dark,
might not be Null.
Yeah. All of that stuff at one point those were all $50 to $75 books.
Yeah.
And you couldn't find them on the shelves.
Right.
Like they just flew. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of them that people are sitting on right now that they're just going to end up sitting on because it's showing a fair market value of $50 because that's where it was selling. But they're sitting on eBay for $25 because everybody knows that they're only worth $5.
I was going to say they'll be sitting in here for $5,
and it's a great storyline. Like, it's a fantastic book. The first 20, 25.
But that's also a different situation when that's a retcon first appearance or whatever. It was like, oh, there's a black spot on that rock. Did they accidentally make an ink splotch on there, or is that Null?
Right.
And then Donny Cates will be like, that's Null. No.
Yeah.
No. He'll say that it is, sure.
Right.
Yeah, and because I feel like Donny Cates is a competent writer. He's done a lot of stuff that I've really liked, but he's the new Mark Miller.
Right.
He's the guy that gets on the internet, says things, tries to control the sales market in comics, because any publicity is good publicity, blah blah blah, whatever. Oh, people are paying attention to me and my writing's hot. I don't know Donny Cates. I might be just totally full of shit here, but he seems like the new Mark Miller, where he's a hype man,
right?
And he's trying to make all of his books hot. By going back and saying, okay, I don't think most of these little, first cameo, first mention, whatever, I don't think all those were planned. I think that he went, oh, wait a minute, I did that. I should say
well, and it's easy. If you're a fan of comic books, it would be super easy to jump onto whatever the book is. Mm-hmm. Marvel could come to me and say, we're going to make a comic book based on Super Pro. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, give me Super Pro. I can go back and read books from that era and look and say, oh, you know what, Super Pro, this guy walking underneath Spider-Man in this issue, that character design looks a little close. That's Super Pro before he was introduced. Yeah. And then make a whole book based on that.
Or, you know what? You can make that new character look like that old character.
Oh, very much.
And say it's probably the first appearance. Man. No, that's what I based it on. Yeah. You can do anything you want, and again, I'm not saying that Donny Cates and Mark Miller are bad writers. I really enjoy a lot of the stuff they do. I really do. Legitimately, honestly enjoy it. I'm just saying they are, both of them to a point, are kind of like carnival barkers. They're like 70% of Stanley. You know what I mean? With a little bit, with maybe 15% of Jim Lee mixed in there, because I think they've got a lot of talent. Not to say Stanley didn't, but you know what I mean. Right. Stanley was a great idea guy, but
sorry. I think that's what they are. They are great idea guys. Mm-hmm. It's like the George Lucas thing. George Lucas, greatest filmmaker of his time, 4 movies. That's all he's ever done. Mm-hmm. He's done Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Red Tails, and a cartoon nobody has ever seen.
Not Howard the Duck. Okay. Howard the Duck. Produced it. He stepped away from that thing like crazy.
He ran away from that.
Yes, he did. I just watched that the other day.
I love that movie.
It's just as bad as I remember it. Actually, it's a little bit worse than I remember it.
I really wish if I was doing that movie, I would have thrown Kiss in there. I just would have done it.
Do you know Robin Williams was supposed to be the Howard the Duck voice?
No, I didn't.
And he I don't know if it's they couldn't calm him down enough to stick to the script, or the rumors are something about like he didn't like how the animatronic Bill looked, and it wouldn't go with his voice, right? Like it wouldn't sync up because cocaine. But he was supposed to be Howard the Duck. That would have been a completely different movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No. And the guy that played Howard the Duck that was in the suit, this guy that played Chucky.
Nice.
When in the first couple of Child's Play movies, I think the first 3, when it was a little person in a suit running around, behind the couch and everything, it's the same dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But besides that, the movie was terrible. I watched it with my daughter because she likes to watch bad movies with me.
Well, that's a good bad movie to watch.
Even she was like, that didn't make any sense. I didn't spend any time on characterization. I didn't care about anybody in it. The plot was absolutely ridiculous. It didn't make any sense. Is he from space? Is he from a different dimension? What exactly is the deal with this? I didn't like that movie, Dad. And then that was about all there was. And I was like, wow, okay, that was harsh, man.
But yeah, I think that they're great ideas. They have great ideas for other people to build on.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Agree.
And that's not taking anything at all away from their abilities. I think Donny Cates has come up with some of the most innovative, like overarching comic ideas in the last couple of decades.
But if you look at what he does, or what he did, because nobody knows where he is right now, if you look at what he did, it does fit a pattern. First issue, big blowout action, blah, blah, blah. Second issue, a little bit more story-oriented stuff. Third or fourth issue, you've got a very small, minor first appearance of a character that nobody knows about. 6th or 7th issue, the big character comes in, and it's like, oh no, he first showed up in issue 2 or 3. Then there's a big battle, then there's a big crossover, and then he's off the book and moves on to something else. It's exactly the same pattern with every single one. That's what happened with Venom. That's what happened with Hulk. That's what happened with Guardians. Everything. And now that's not to say he isn't good. But it is to say he has that pattern. He's got the Carnival Barker thing down, and he's got the pattern of what he does with his stories. And, he's good at that.
Yeah, I'm really surprised why they haven't picked up on some of that stuff that's been so popular and put that, because the Thor character in the MCU would really benefit from that Donny Cates influence from that storyline.
Oh yeah.
The Hulk, another one like that's the Hulk movie that we've all been wanting to see.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I don't know. I think Robert Kirkman kind of falls into that thing too.
Oh, for sure.
And because he's got some good ideas. I don't think he's as good a writer as Johnny Cates or Mark Miller, either one. But he's got some great ideas, and he comes up with some great characters. He just doesn't have the follow through for me. And the best Walking Dead story was that one shot that Brian K. Vaughan did.
What was that thing that they put out that was released? It was accidentally released here from another dimension.
Oh, Solid Blood.
Solid Blood?
Uh-huh.
I don't even know. Wasn't that supposed to go somewhere? Weren't they supposed to do something with that?
No, it was all just basically a joke.
Because that was really cool. I like some of the kind of little nibbles that they put in there to make you think about what's coming up.
And I think both of us theorized that it would play into crossover.
Yeah. I thought that's where they're going.
That kind of petered out.
Yeah.
Then it's like crossover hot. Oh my God. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. And then it was like, and then it just stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were playing that up to be like, the huge Image thing.
It's not what I originally thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the thing that brought the Image universe together. But I don't know.
It was supposed to be Image United.
Yeah.
But finish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know where they're going with all that.
No, it's weird.
So, interesting stuff. I do think in the long run that getting back to Overstreet versus fair market value, it all kind of evens out in the end.
I mean, it does, and it evens out because Overstreet will slowly go up,
right,
and market value will crash and then come back up to where Overstreet is.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, eventually that book in whatever many years is probably going to be $100 in Overstreet. You know what I mean? It's probably 20 years, 15 years, maybe 10 years. Maybe it'll be $100 before Saga finishes. I doubt it. But it'll be a race to see which finishes first. The $100 race or the Saga finishing.
I mean, the only drawback is you're not going to find this book on eBay for less than about $65, $70.
Right. Yeah. So, and that to me, yes, everything goes up, but that's why it doesn't make all that much sense to me is because, something that comes out this week that's $3.99, you can rationalize that all you want with anything. You can say, oh, well, that $3.99 book that came out yesterday is eventually going to be $10. So,
yeah,
you go buy a house for, $400,000 and you're like, okay, I'll sign the papers. And they're like, well, no, this house is going to be $1 million one day. So that's what we're going to sell it to you as.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, well, no, man. You know what I mean? That's why I have a hard time with market value.
Yeah. All right. So just a couple things before we go too long. Mm-hmm. So for people that don't know, this is Bleak Haven Noir. It's issues number 3 and 4 from Bleak Haven. And what we're going to do, this beautiful cover, that's my Rogue Trader exclusive.
Yes, it is.
Drawn by Greg himself.
Mm-hmm.
So Tommy, we were talking, good friend of the show. I'm going to have Greg sign this because he did the artwork on it. I think I actually have one that's signed by you and Bella. His daughter Bella drew that one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get some signed copies out to you. I'm also going to go through the comments. We'll give people a chance to leave comments. We get quite a few people that view it. But if you leave a comment, I'm going to say by this time next week, we'll give away a couple copies of those and a couple of copies of Marvin Wynn's book, The Edge.
Nice.
I got a couple trade paperbacks that we can give away.
All right.
So like, comment, and subscribe, all that. I do also want to shout out.
That's too soon.
Do want to shout out
premature ringing.
Crazy Kurt's Comics on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, especially if you're one of our Utah viewers, follow Crazy Kurt. Curtis.
Yeah, he is crazy. I like him.
He's a bit crazy. Yeah. He's got some cool stuff going on,
uh-huh.
and
he's not from here.
He's not. Oh, he's not from here.
No.
He's here.
Yeah,
he's not from here.
He's not from here. Originally, he's not from here.
Yeah,
he talks like this.
Yeah.
He's great. I love Curtis.
follow Crazy Curtis, and we'll try to get him in here to do a couple shows with us. Great guy to sit down and have a conversation with, and he's got some cool books to show off. And like he did a video, his video yesterday. He does like these real quick, 1 minute videos, and he was talking about New Comic Book Day. But I didn't know this, but yesterday was National Brothers Day as well. And he's like, yeah, go out and get yourself some Brothers comics, some X-Men with Havoc and Cyclops.
Is National Brothers Day?
That was yesterday.
I'm losing track of all the national things I must pay attention to. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, follow Crazy
National
Kurt's
Sandwich
Comics.
Day, or I don't know, whatever.
I will post a link so you can do that. We want to support our other local Utah comic book creators and give them the love they deserve.
There you go.
All right.
Brother.
So, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in Wednesdays where we go down the wall and give you all the information about the new comic books that have come out.
Like, comment, subscribe, and what?
And make sure to ring the bell. Oh, you can't pause those. He'll get it, folks. All right. Make sure to ring the bell so you get notified when we have a new show drop. And we'll see you later, traders.